Just give me liberty, or give me death.
All right, guys, so Kevin from Turn to Liberty here. We got Susie with us as well. We are gonna position ourselves inside, I believe, but we have one heck of a mob of Venezuelans coming out to vote today. We gotta applaud these people. This is in Tampa, Florida, for those of you who hadn't heard already. Jesus, I should have brought my megaphone. Sorry. And Viva Venezuela, yes.
Estamos declarados en desobediencia civil. No regresaremos de las calles en Venezuela hasta que la
Unfortunately, I don't speak Spanish, so I'm not sure what he's saying. We're fired up down here. So again, this is Tampa, Florida. Venezuelans look like they're ready for some liberty. I really applaud the business owner for hosting the vote down here. The name of the business is Arpitas, and fabulous food, vegan foods, and obviously I'm down here with Turn to Liberty, and we are all for wanting liberty in our time. So we'll see what's going on at the head of the line. Hopefully people are getting processed to vote. And we're gonna vote for freedom today, folks. Freedom and liberty. No dictator. Down with the dictator. All right, I'm just an Americano, North Americano. I applaud you all for voting. You guys rock. All right, these guys are fired up. I'm feeling some empowerment of the people of Venezuela. Not sure how much these guys want to talk on the mic, but as you can see, it takes a citizenry to step up to free a city, free a county, free a state, free a country, free a nation. So that is what I see out here. People who are fighting to be free and get out from under a dictator's heel. Boot against the neck will never be voted on. Obviously, this is just tremendous. Look, hey, Susie from Turn to Liberty's here. Susie, how's it going? So, I don't know for sure, but we do believe, I know personally, I have a couple friends from Venezuela who are actually refugees in the United States. Deservedly so. I actually have to text the owner of the restaurant. He asked me to text him when I got here, so I'm going to be doing that right now. Excuse me. So here we go. Come on down. Arpitas, Venezuelan and Lebanese food. These are diehard voters, will never give up their freedom, their country. Full on applaud the Venezuelans for showing up to vote. These people deserve a ton of respect. If Cuba did the same thing, did a straw poll planetary wide of anybody who can claim Cuban citizenship, which is what these people can claim, whether it's dual citizenship or they're here on a work visa, vacation visa, or got dropped off here by their friends and family, obviously they want to save their country and go back home and live their lives. Donald Trump, President of the United States, if you are paying attention, sir, great opportunity here for you to smash socialism to the ground publicly, to cut cut the ties of the Cuban dictatorship from messing with these people's homeland. Although Putin's been somewhat a good actor in the last 2 years, but the Chinese anyways, cutting the communists off from taking these people's natural resources and returning them back to their homeland, where they want to be, and they want to have their own ability to determine for themselves which direction Venezuela goes. Donald Trump, come out of that big White House and get to the streets, sir. There's a message here for you.
I want to make sure that you understand, but this is not my business, unfortunately.
Okay.
I'm just a community leader, a Venezuelan leader.
Oh,
for
right.
many
My
years,
mistake. I want to talk to the activist.
Perfect.
The person
Thank
who's
you.
changing
Thank
hearts
you.
and minds. That's
Thank
what I
you
want to
very
speak
much.
to.
Thanks.
So tell me, what led you to do this here in the United States to help, I guess, refugees and people on visas and maybe even, the rest of the community?
You have pretty much all kind of people, all kind of Venezuelans. We have people that have been here for about a month. You have people that have been here for about 40 years. So you have all kinds of people really represented. We have over 1,000 people already that have voted, and we have the lines already filled. So it's just
already.
amazing. It's
Outstanding.
1,000 already.
That's
1,000
great.
already. We expect probably about 2,000 more. So it's really, really amazing.
That is amazing.
Really amazing.
Beautiful.
We expect, obviously, our hope is for a change. Definitely, we cannot allow to have a dictatorship in Venezuela. We cannot allow definitely to have all the powers under one person. Or under one group, which is basically what they want with the reform of the Constitution.
So you refuse to be a subject to a king, you refuse to be a slave to a dictator, you refuse to be a peasant class to a oligarchy class of people the dictator picks, and you guys are going to stay the course. I mean, even if Murdo, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, refuses to listen to the people, you basically will have to go to phase 2 or plan B, I guess. Huh?
Correct, and there are some other plans that I'm not really aware of it, but I know there are plans, especially with the armed forces and people that have retired. But yeah, the idea is to do it from a constitutional way, a democratic way, and this is what we have. The Constitution allows us to protest, and the protests have been in the streets, as you've seen, for about 100 years, peaceful on our side, obviously not peaceful on the other side. So definitely that's what we want, and this is something that we can say, listen, we have over 15 million that have said, yes, we want to change. Yes, we want the armed forces to be on our side. So that's basically what we want. And then obviously, yes. And
three questions. To change the Constitution, we're saying no, don't change the Constitution, correct?
Right, we're saying yes, that we don't want to change. So it kind of confusing.
Spanish English thing.
Yes. But it's yes, not to change. Yes, because they are deciding from their side to do the change. We don't want that. We want the town, the people to definitely say yes, we want to change.
And we're saying yes, we want the military to step up and lead to return us back to a constitutional status.
Correct. To return the rights of the different powers that we have, not to be on one side only.
And then also, basically, we also want the military to basically facilitate a peace, so to speak, a process where people are being heard, and also to make sure this doesn't go, I guess, still remain under a condition where a strong man, I won't use the word dictator, but a strong man with the Constitution. We really need the military to basically be the adults and prevent Murdo, how do you pronounce his name? Maduro, I apologize. Prevent Maduro from basically acting like a dictator, even though there's a constitution. We really need the military to step up and police for peace, basically. Serve and protect. Serve and protect the people, as they say on our patrol cars.
Yes.
Well, I want to thank you for your time, sir. I know you're working here.
Appreciate it very much.
Outstanding. Appreciate your service. You're a leader of liberty for the day, if not for the whole year, sir. Turn to liberty. This is the point of the sword for folks trying to free a whole country. Is right here. We're actually across the entire world. Wherever there's a Venezuelan population, this is all happening. So we got 6 spots in the Tampa Bay area, Pinellas, and a bunch in Orlando and Miami, I'm sure. And what more can you say? It's just breathtaking. So we should probably go. Hey, Susie from Turn to Liberty's here. We should probably go talk to the people whose lives are so massively affected by what's gone down in Venezuela over the year. One should be able to tell you what to do, including a government. As long as you don't.
Less government, we're much better.
As long as you don't invade other people's rights, of course. Yeah. So this is our main thing.
Why we are doing this? This is, in spite of being a symbolic way of voting, what we want is sending a message to the world. we are telling the world that 85 to 90% of the population in Venezuela and the rest of the world do not want the Maduro regime to stay in power. We want new elections. We want to be able to have Venezuela back, because we have the influence of China, Russia, and not only that, we have been invaded by Cuba. And the biggest problem we have is not the regime of Maduro, it's Cuba. That's the problem. And the drug trafficking in the country. So we want to tell the world, here we are, Venezuelan, we are out here telling you that we do not want the revolution, this revolution anymore. Please help us, because nobody seems to be helping. People talk, and whatever opinion they think is, they want to say, but helping, no. I think the Venezuelans are the only ones fighting in the streets, trying to get their country back.
You guys have access to guns by chance? Can you buy guns in Venezuela?
No, you cannot buy guns. That's the problem. Otherwise, we will be at war right now.
Would that be part of the process to correct things, maybe?
That's the only way.
Yeah,
because what happened with communists, they do not leave. Once they get there, they stay there forever if they can. You just have to look at what happened in Cuba, 60 years. And this is what they want to have in Venezuela, another Cuba. And the biggest problem with this new constitution they want to establish at the end of the month is the working with Cuba. Cuba is going to be part of Venezuela. It's going to be one country. And that's the problem we have. We're losing our country, and we are telling the world, please help us. We do not want to lose our country. We want our democracy and our sovereignty back. Please help us.
Absolutely. And I'm on board for helping. Susie's on board for helping.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I think there's probably laws against us packing shipping containers full of weapons and sending them down to you people. Unfortunately.
I hope so. Oh my gosh, please do. Would be so
I'm sure there's laws preventing us from doing it, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
But, the CIA, which is, the CIA in our country, which has historically been an agent of evil, especially in your part of the world, Central America, Chile, in Central American wars.
But
they've really been bad actors, but they change based on the direction of the wind.
Absolutely, but what happened is that, which I think is very important, they are looking at North Korea. They are looking very far away, but they are not looking at the neighbors. We are only 3 hours from here.
Exactly.
And if we don't take care of ourselves right here, we are beginning to lose this country too, because we have too many enemies around, and we are not taking care of Latin America, and we have to look at that. Our neighbors.
Right.
Yeah. Take care of that part of the world, but take care of your neighbors first, because it's Cuba that is commanding these enemies against the United States.
I didn't vote for Trump. I voted for Gary Johnson, but Trump is our president now in the United States.
So we need to respect him.
Of course. Yeah. He's a representative of the peoples, and but he can act. He can do all sorts of stuff. He can send the Navy down there, the Marines, SEAL teams. He can do all sorts of things.
No, he can't. Remember that it's Russia and it's China telling the United States, do not get here, because they are in Venezuela already. Part of Venezuela belongs to them. The mines belongs to China. The oil belongs to Cuba and Russia. They're not going to lose.
So you guys need a full-on revolution to take it all back,
yes,
huh?
Revolution. Counter-revolution. That's what we need in Venezuela.
So there's a governor of the state just south of Caracas. I think it's called Miranda.
Capriles. Capriles.
I think it starts with an M, like Miranda.
Miranda is the
the
state.
gentleman might be Capriles. Yes, that gentleman.
Yes.
Governor. Is he like is he a good option for the Venezuelan people to have as their president?
He's a good guy, but we don't need a good guy right now. We need a strong hand to face those people, and we are looking. I would say that there is a woman that we have to look at. Women have been working very hard in Venezuela. We have 2 candidates that we are looking into. So I think it's in the hands of a woman in Venezuela.
So even though we see pictures of this gentleman you mentioned, there's other qualified candidates for sure.
We have Leopoldo Lopez. He was in jail.
I read about him.
He was just placed in his house, but he cannot leave. Mm-hmm. He's still in jail, but in his house. So he's a good candidate too. But at this point, in my opinion, it's a woman.
Okay. Well, go ahead, Susie.
Are you excited about the turnout and what's going on here today? Are you excited
Oh.
about the number of people? Yes.
I knew this was going to be a tsunami. I knew that.
Tsunami of liberty.
Yes, because everybody, every Venezuelan cry when they see this because they want their country back.
Absolutely.
They are here not because they won. They are here because there is no food, no medicine, no freedom of expression, nothing. They have lost everything, and they have to come to different countries. And this is a way of telling the world, this is the beginning of the end. Please help us.
Right.
Everybody's
Absolutely.
very excited about it.
So
Yes.
we have like 25, 30,000 Venezuelans
Yes,
right here
about
in Tampa
20,
Bay, right?
20 to 30. Yes.
Wow, that's
In
just
the
amazing.
entire
And you
county.
think most
Yes.
of them, do you feel like if they could actually get their country back, would go back? Or do you think they would be,
No,
people would be fleeing
there are
this
so
direction?
many people that are going back to Venezuela. Remember that Venezuela at one point in time was the richest country in Latin America.
Right.
The richest,
Right.
with the highest oil reservoir in the world.
I do, yes.
We were rich. We didn't need anything. We started leaving the country for the first time now with this regime, not because we want to, but because we don't have choice. There's no choice. I mean, it's either die in your house because you don't have any of the basic needs covered, or go to another country and try to survive for some time and then go back. That's what I think. Yes. Yes.
The people in line here, so I work with some people who are Venezuelans. I think they're on work visas. I think they're refugees.
Yes.
What percentage of the people who came out today do you think are actual refugees on the U.S. refugee list versus on a work visa?
No, we don't have any idea.
Okay.
We don't have any
It's
idea.
not public
but
information,
No,
or-
it's not public information, but many people here don't have any papers.
Okay, I guess that's another option.
It's not that they are illegal, because I don't use that word.
Walt
but they don't have-
Walt
they don't
Disney
have the
World's
papers.
right over there. We let people go to Walt Disney World all the time. So on vacation in Florida.
Vacation in Florida until they can go back to the country, yes.
Right, so yeah, I mean, Venezuelans have always been real high up on the ranks of
Yes.
folks in
I mean,
country
we
here.
were always friends to the United States, and all of a sudden, the regime is the worst enemy to this country. We have to be careful, because it's not Venezuela. It's Cuba, it's Nicaragua, it's Bolivia, it's most of the country in Latin America, and they have one enemy in common, the United States.
I have a question about socialism, if I could ask you. So we're Americans, you know, we're not paying a lot of attention to Central and South America, but I understand of all the parties that are, you know, in play, political parties in Venezuela, they're pretty much all socialist parties. Is that fair to say? Like the MUD Coalition, MUD. Which I don't know what that acronym is,
it's different. People don't understand because it's just like they come here, they don't understand.
That's what I'm hoping you can explain to us Americans.
Exactly. But we are not socialist at all. I mean, we like to help people, and then they call it socialism, but we are not socialists. We are capitalists. I mean, we have money, we like to spend it, we like to have a good life, and we like the private enterprises. We are capitalists. We are not socialists. The name socialism is included in the name of the party, but nothing to do with socialism, no.
That's what I thought. I was thinking that. I mean, I haven't been tracking you guys for decades or anything, but I'm thinking it's like, you know, red, white, and blue in America. You know, every political party uses red, white, and blue, except libertarians, we're yellow.
That's good.
That's good. But yeah, I was thinking it was similar to that. You know, it's like Americans wrap themselves in the USA flag. You know, Venezuelan likes the word socialism in their political groups. But truthfully, you guys, it's like the authoritarians versus the liberty folks. You know, authoritarians
And
versus
the problem that
libertarians.
many people do not understand in this country, you don't know how good you have it. You don't know, and you are losing this country, and you are not doing anything about it.
Everybody's we're here.
Yes,
That's why we're here.
thank
Yes.
you.
Tell
Thank
us.
you.
Tell us.
Example, that's why we're here.
Tell our audience, which is basically Americans who are waking up to what you're talking about. What do we need to know based on what you've learned in your lifetime in Venezuela?
What you need, I'm going to talk about my experience in the United States.
Please.
What people here need to know is socialism is bad. Socialism and communism is the same word, same thing, bad people. And if you let them come here, they will brainwash you because they are enemies to this country. And there is a group of countries that are all together trying to attack the United States one way or the other. Drugs, media, any way they can, they are going to attack this country because this is what they hate the most. This is the last bastion of freedom. There isn't anything else.
I wish it wasn't true, but it is true, I guess.
True.
You know, I wish there was more. I wish there was more bastions of freedom, like Venezuelans. You know, we fought. You know, something pissed us off. 3% tax from a king in England, and we lit it up. You know, we killed them with shovels and pickaxes and these really horrible guns that didn't fire very well, and we beat the British.
Well, you can see here.
I know, it's
you
amazing.
Can see here.
This line
this is the voice
growing.
of the people. This is the people telling the world, telling all the international organizations, we do not want communism in our country, and we want Cuba to go home. That's
Amen to that.
Amen.
Yeah.
Cuba, go home.
Put your hand up. Well, I'm going to go. Here, do the side. Making a picture of us standing together.
Yes.
For freedom.
Ladies
For
of
freedom,
liberty.
For freedom.
Ladies of liberty for freedom. I'll hold this for you,
There
Susie.
you go. There you go. Yay.
Let's see. This is one hell of a lens we got on here. This is like zoom in.
Take care of your country. You have a magnificent country, one of the best countries in the world.
We're trying. We're trying to educate people, and that's really what Susie and I are trying to do, is educate people as much as we can. This is where the action is today. You guys are our neighbors in Venezuela, right down there, and people just don't even know.
¿Quiénes somos? Venezuela. ¿Qué queremos? Libertad. ¡Viva la arepa! ¡Viva el aceite, el arroz, el pan!
Acquaintance of ours, Mrs. M. Mrs. M, if I could understand correctly, you worked at the Supreme Court in Venezuela, and you are an attorney from Venezuela. Is that about right?
Yes, correct. I was a Supreme Court employee. I had a position, a very high position on the management, where all the money, the budgets and strategies for the administration is the decision maker, basically. So at the beginning, I was working at the Supreme Court for around 13 years. At the beginning, it was a super great experience, but at the pass of the years was very difficult because you cannot, you couldn't express yourself, you couldn't be like part of any opposite party. All the things, even when we work with the companies to, the suppliers, like everything has to go through the government. So no other companies to supply pencils. I'm talking.
So government incorporated for pencils and government incorporated for paper.
It basically was everything for them. So there was a point where they was trying to avoid somehow the legal process that you have to select those companies, and that was it. There is a point like you give up. Even if when your child goes with you at work for any reason, and I have to tell her, you be quiet. Whatever we're talking at home, you cannot even talk here, because I can lose a job. And when you realize, like, what is this? It's not even possible that you can, what is this? As a mother, as an employee, as a person, as a citizen, you cannot accept those things. And everything started like probably as small as, okay, you cannot put on your desk Santa Claus, for example, like any
religious?
Yeah, anything, any religion thing or anything, because the president of the Supreme Court has not that religion, and you are like, okay. So everything started like with the small things, and now you see how the Supreme Court, even if we have another judges, it doesn't matter, it's the same party. So all of them are just deciding in favor of the government. So it's not like you have a real Supreme Court who has to judge and decide it based on the rules. It seems like there is no rules anymore. It seems like it's just defending or trying to defend the status quo.
So you obviously left Venezuela.
About 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Okay.
So why did you pick the U.S.?
Well, because this is a free country, like the idea of free country. Yes, and I have family here, so for me the immigration process was easier. So I don't have any other families in any other part of the world. So yeah, That's the reason why. And I have been here before, so it's not a weird country for me.
Do you see things in the U.S. today that remind you of things that were happening in the beginning in Venezuela? Like you're saying Santa Claus on the desk, and now we're not supposed to say Merry Christmas, we're supposed to say Happy Holidays. Do you see other things like that happening in the U.S. today?
Not really. I don't feel like, I have been here only during 3 years, but nothing near, like, not really. I cannot say that here at all, no.
You're whoever you work for, whatever judge it was at the Supreme Court, have you been in touch with them? Did they share with you any information that was give you a feel for what they were doing or what they were thinking?
I just know at all because I was working with a person that actually he's not anymore in the Supreme Court neither, so he retired, and I mean you lose the persons, you lose the control because they are not allowed to tell you anything. So somehow when you create a relationship, not only as a co-worker but as a friend, maybe that they can tell you, okay, we are here, we cannot talk at all, it's just working for us, like not that there is no so much that they can express for real. I mean, and in this situation it's not necessarily that they talk to you. You just know what are they living right now.
Do you have recommendations for Venezuelans on how to vote today on the straw poll?
Well, of course, we have to express, even if we are far away from our countries, this is just how they can realize, and the world, international governments can realize that we are more than them, like without any doubt. And that's why the electoral power wouldn't allow us to do like a formal elections, because they know that they will lose, and not for 20%, they will lose for 40 or 50% if we have a real electoral power, like not from the government electoral power. So this is probably not accepted by their rules, but it's just enough for us. It's just enough to know how many we are and to show all the rest of the governments around the world that please help us, because we are not the minority. We are the people who wants a free country, and eventually we want to come back to help to create again our country.
Beautiful.
That's a good point.
How do you feel about the military part of this vote today? I understand is a vote to change, to allow the change of the Constitution. I think everyone here is saying don't change the Constitution.
Correct.
And then there's 2 other votes. One's for the military to, restore constitutional rule, and I think the other one's the military to restore like peace and order or something like that.
Well, that part of the military is not even here the point. I mean, we are more concerned because they went. I mean, when I talk today, the government went against the rule. Of course, in companion with the electoral power. What they were trying to do is just to change the Constitution, but our Constitution says right now that if you want to change the Constitution, you have to ask the citizens if they want or not to change it. What he did is he used the Supreme Court to tell him, yes, you are right, because you are the president and you represent the citizens, you are allowed to, just without any other permission, you are allowed just to create that group that is going to change the Constitution, and that's it. Oh my God, where is the real people? That's what we are doing right now. Hey, you cannot change that because you didn't ask us. That's kind of the thing. On July 25th, I think that is their, I mean, and it's not even to ask the citizens, you want or not. It's just, hey, this is the group who is going to change the Constitution. Imagine how big is the difference, just, and they have all the permissions from the Supreme Court. So it's like, what other powers is here? Right now, all the Congress is majority is the opposition, and they are considering like they are not they have no power at all. So
do you have any interest in running for president of Venezuela?
No, at all. I mean,
no. Come on, you worked at the Supreme Court, you got a lawyer degree.
Yeah, Yeah, correct. Probably if I decided to go back, will be in some Supreme Court position, for sure. Or now that I'm in an insurance company, maybe in that insurance company to help them.
Venezuelan insurance company, yes.
Yeah. But well, I mean, the reason why we are here is just to demonstrate again that we are more than them. Basically.
Do you feel empowered and excited because there's so many people showing up? I mean, this is one of 5 polling places in Tampa itself.
Yes.
And look at all the people that are here.
And we are so many. I mean, unfortunately, as you are going to see here, most people is professional. They all have a higher educational level because there's no opportunities at all for all these young people that just went out from the universities, and what is the next step? There is no employment. Even if you got an employment, it's just with a very few salaries levels. So yeah, this is good. I mean, probably I'm going to tell you, oh, I'm excited, but this is sad because this is
that
all
you have
great
to even
people
do it.
that leave our country and
these people are like the best and the brightest of Venezuela who had resources, who were able to escape, year 10 of socialism. The second decade started from Chavez to Maduro. I can never say his name. Maduro. Chavez and Maduro. Basically, year 17, I think, of socialism in Venezuela, and people are running for the borders to get out.
Yes.
They can't even feed themselves.
Yes, basically.
Can't get a job, can't maintain a status of living that they would expect to maintain.
Yes, and it's very sad because there is a lot of people. Well, we are today, I think, on day 103 or 102, with every single day with people in the streets just protesting. And at this point, I think that it's more than 100 young people that is being dying.
Wow.
Because the military is killing them.
You mean the protesters in the street getting killed?
The civilians are dead just for speaking up.
I mean, 14 years old, 20 years old, with all the world in front of them. They just, because they were protesting, they were just killed. Like,
sad.
The military is using non-authorized armaments, and it's killing the people. And then the government just said, well, they don't even have excuses for that. It's like, well, we are going to rule that. And never happened.
Do you have a message for Americans that, we live here, we don't experience what you experienced? What do you think Americans need to know that we're not seeing in our own country of America, United States, I should say, that, Venezuelans who are here, on work visas or refugees or what have you, see here that Americans aren't seeing here? What do we need to know about preventing socialism showing up here?
Well, basically, don't give the government all the power. I mean, sometimes for us it's amazing. The government is giving more benefits, giving us more free things, giving us social, healthcare, or whatever other benefits, or food, or
free houses.
Free houses. We started like that. We start, hey, you're gonna have free AC units, you're gonna have free TVs, and everybody was so excited. Hey, free, the government. That's not
really free. It comes with strings.
The Venezuelan was able to provide that because of the petroleum was so high. Okay. So we feel like, no, you have to actually understand that it's like when you're winning a lot of money in your own house. I mean, you want to save hard because you don't know what's going on in the future.
Right.
So it's kind of the same. So basically, what they did is like, and I think that it's not only them. It's just a plan. Cuba was the same. There is a lot of socialist countries that it's like how they play the game.
Right.
And
photo op. Pile of free washing machines and air conditioners. Vote for me, basically, right?
And houses also. So imagine that you receive a house for free. You think that you're not going to vote for them?
We have that here.
They're buying
Section 8 houses. They're
bribing your houses, yeah.
Well, that's the beginning of the thing.
Yeah.
Right, that's a good point.
If you know how to control it, okay, that will be good because you can understand. But that's not how it's supposed to work. You have to create employment. You have to create companies, right? Give the power to the private companies.
Right.
No?
It's so easy to do. Just get out of the way, and the private companies will do it.
Will do it. Yeah.
It's called
Yeah.
capitalism.
Probably. So the speech for the socialism, well, you're doing this a small group. Okay, with that small group, at least you have it. No, you are disappearing that even a small group that is providing employment for another group.
Exactly.
So don't.
The problem with socialism is you eventually run out of other people's money. Exactly.
Yeah, you're not gonna see that today and probably not tomorrow, but in the future, in the long term,
slippery slope.
It's not a sustainable way to do it.
Exactly.
Not sustainable. Exactly.
So bad. Can't believe it's so dishonest too. You know, we knew it from start that this wasn't gonna work out.
Yeah, and then okay, if you go to the Venezuelan hospital, hey, yes, you don't have to pay a penny. There's kids dying because they don't have the medicines to survive. But it is free.
Free. You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yes, it's just a lot. It's just a lot that I don't even understand why still people is voting for this. I have no idea.
I question that even here in the States sometimes.
Should be something.
What we're trying to do is educate people, you know, by coming out speaking to you, showing the Americans what's going on here in Tampa, when you have a failed state, you know, 600 miles south of us in Venezuela, in our own time zone, you know, basically half you guys speak English and some of us speak Spanish, so you know what I mean. We're like in many ways an overlapping culture. But when states fail, you know, America does accept refugees, of course, and that's the right thing to do. But honestly, y'all, the people out here, you really want to go back and solve the problem, right?
Yes.
I mean, you guys want Venezuela to succeed. You want to return to your life.
I love my country. My country is amazing. I mean, we have everything to be happy there. And right now, just because of some group, and for me, that's the thing. It's not a small group that is working in with a government. It's more than that. It's terrorism. It's drugs involved. It's a huge thing that I believe that is the principal reason why we, being more at this point, we cannot do basically anything.
Right.
But you are doing something today.
You're speaking out.
I commend you for that.
We are doing something today, and I hope that this is the beginning of them.
I think this is genius. Whoever the people are who organized the voting process, I think this is genius. They're doing it well-timed, 2 weeks ahead of the official, political
Selection.
Organization's vote. The selection, yeah, it's probably a better way to put it. The selection of whatever the president wants to do down there. But honestly, this puts you guys on front page news. You know, people wanting liberty and freedom for Venezuelans.
Basically,
yeah,
that's
the mission was complete, and you know your community is only stronger. I mean, all these people, you guys have solidarity, as they say in Poland. You know, with the solidarity movement taking down communism there. You guys are all one. You guys are one. You know, nation of people who are now no longer in your physical nation but are remote and want to return.
Yes, and one of the most important things that I invite all the people to vote is that once this at 6 p.m. or at 8 p.m. wherever you sign, the books that they are using are going to be on fire, because we cannot permit that they have our names. They cannot
Interesting. You guys are going to do a vote ballot burning here.
Yes.
Wow.
Everything is just to count us, how many we are, and then disappear the evidence. Because it's so dangerous.
Because they'll kill you. Because the state will kill you, basically.
They are not going to allow you to do anything. You cannot receive whatever bag of food they're going to provide, because it's only for the government parties. So if they got that list, it's going to be awful. So the way that these persons are organizing everything is, once you sign, once the total votes are, complete, they're going to put it on fire, or all the votes.
Very cool.
Any kind
Where are
of
they going to do
evidence.
that? Right here in the parking lot?
I don't know.
Has to be totaled first, so yeah.
But they're gonna do it. So you can not only hear.
It's an undisclosed location because they don't want it. They don't want it thwarted.
Yes.
Well, thwarted.
I know, but they don't announce it loud.
This is really the outcome of socialism. I mean.
Basically, what we are going to provide today is a number. That's it. No names.
Okay.
No names.
But this is very, because you're connecting all these people, so you get the feeling of I'm not alone. There's a bunch of us here. Like they say, there's 25 to 30,000 Venezuelans just in the greater Tampa Bay area alone. Just letting people see that there's other ones besides me, and the colors and all the flags and everything that people are wearing is just empowering as well as emotional.
So when in this country, United States, when the Declaration of Independence was written predominantly by Thomas Jefferson and a handful of other people who edited it and sent it to a king, they said the words, "We either hang together or we hang alone," and they were referring to hanging on ropes. So they as a people, it was only like 32 signatories, basically arm in arm, signed that document, knowing it was their death sentence if they failed at freeing the 13 colonies of the United States. Likewise, this is a strategic decision somebody's made to burn all the ballots. But had you not burned all the ballots, you guys would be even stronger, because all of your necks would be at risk of being hung on a rope.
Basically.
And no group of people will be more ferocious about saving their country than those who know they're going to be killed if they don't succeed.
Yes, and
but you might not have as high of a participation today if you did that. So.
The strategist over here says we may not have as much participation.
I like what they're doing. I like what they're doing.
So I guess the people who founded the United States, the people who signed the Declaration of Independence, were a special group. I mean, they knew they were going to be dead, and
there was 32 of them as opposed to 30,000 of them. That would be
the strategy.
Well, right now our concern, and that's why we are doing this again, is because we want to show how many we are, and because right now sometimes when you are alone and thinking, well, how many deaths are you, or the world needs to be like to put the attention on you.
Right.
Do you have a number? Because right now we are 100 young people.
Right.
So do you have a number where you can say, hey, national organization, United National Organizations, or any other international organization, do you need a number for real to pay us attention somehow? So
we're dying here. How many of us have to die before you step in to help?
Because if you know the numbers, like in the year, the people for any reason, like murders or just death, regular death, is more like 25,000 in the year. It's not even a war, and you see the numbers we have.
25,000 people dying without a war just because they disagree with their government.
So then you have the balance. Well, protest is just 100, but okay, 100 protesting, and what about the other side? Because there is no medicines or just murder, like regular murders or kidnapping. It's so sad.
It is absolutely. It's the destruction of a country, all in the name of some religion called communism or socialism or the state. However you want to describe it. The Reno, whose name I can't pronounce correctly. Maduro. The cult of Maduro. The cult of Hugo Chavez. I don't know if you're a Christian, but if you were, Jesus Christ is the only person we're going to bow to. It's not going to be a president. The president works for us. So it's all upside down. The house is on fire. It's burning to the ground. You guys are great here, Venezuelans. And if the United States can lend support, who do we need to call to get support? You guys want? Some people we spoke to want rebellion. They want a war. They want to kill these people. They want to wipe them all out and start over in Venezuela.
Well, we don't want.
I know you're voting. I know you're voting for.
Yeah. We want to avoid either. It doesn't matter what side wants the war. We don't want any more. We don't want any more people. We just want our country, our free country. I mean, just rules. In other countries, possible there were already broken rules, and just go ahead and you're not anymore the president. We want elections. That's it. gives me the opportunity to tell who I want. But because they know that they're going to lose the power if they go to an election, they don't want to provide with any legal elections, because this is just organized by the opposition, and I think that some international organizations are getting interested, and they are saying, well, let's see. I mean, but right now in Venezuela, the TV cannot even talk about what's going on today.
So we're doing. It's streaming to the internet. So Zach, I'll let you go, Mrs. M.
Get her tough time hearing it.
Appreciate you standing up for liberating the Venezuelan people today.
Thank you very much for being interested. Thank you very much for being part of this process. And I really appreciate I mean, you don't have to be here, and you are. So that's a good thing. We care. Yeah, you care.
Our job's to wake people up.
Thank you.
So this doesn't happen elsewhere. You're welcome.
Oh, I love the hat. Viva Venezuela, mi patria querida.
There's a shot, honey.
I've got her a couple times. Yes. Yeah.
Free Venezuela. Liberty.
What do you say for the car?
They're going to cut next to them.
I know. I didn't want to get squished. They're trying to manage people so we don't hit people with cars. Good idea. Okay, the line goes on and on and on. We're heading home to do a wrap-up so we can send this out to you.
Hey guys, Kevin O'Neill from Turn to Liberty here. Susie and I just did a total walkthrough of the crowd. As you can see, the Venezuelans mean business. They're pissed off. They've been watching a country dive into socialism for the last 17 years under Chavez and Maduro, and they're sick of it. They're sick of it. Some of these people had family in the United States. They left. They came to the United States just to survive. There's literally people starving in Venezuela. And today's straw poll vote is a message to the world, and hopefully a message to Donald Trump, our president of the United States here, that it's time to act. We can't let China, we can't let Cuba take over Venezuela. We can't let these socialisms knock out a constitution that's been in place already, a legal constitution. There's an effort for Maduro to become a dictator, and these people are willing to stand up and put their names on a ballot and prevent this from happening as best they can. So I really honestly believe us covering this can wake Americans up, can put some pressure on the United States government to act, and the time is now. So these folks aren't talking about war. We've only met a couple people willing to raise arms against that dictatorship that's forming in Venezuela. Most of these people want a peaceful resolution, and that's what a constitutional referendum would produce, a peaceful resolution. So similar to the United States, you could say. So from Turn to Liberty to y'all, we're signing off here in hot Tampa, United States, in Florida, where the Venezuelans are being heard at the ballot box. So guys, join our website, join our list. Turn #2 Liberty, turn2liberty.com. We want to keep you informed. The only way we're going to do that is building our own network. So you guys jump on board. God bless the Venezuelans, and God bless the United States of America.
Just give me liberty, or give me death.